I mean, last year I just
thanks for coming out tonight, and it's an honor and privilege for me to be standing up here talking to you guys. I remember when I started this, my oldest is going into 8th grade now, and it feels like forever ago, but it goes fast, guys, and it's fun. And once they hit junior high, you forget about coaching them. It's a whole nother ball game. So some of you guys that have been through it already know. Just make the most of it, okay? The biggest thing for me is, I mean, this is a big deal. Think of all these kids in this league. I think we got 600 kids signed up right now. Think of all the kids that we get to influence, all the young men we get to influence. So some of those of you that know me really well, there's certain things that just irritate the daylights out of me, and it all comes back to when us guys in this room lose perspective. We're teaching, coaching, educating, leading young men, and that's what this is about, okay? It's fun, have fun with it. We're all competitive, we want to win, have good teams out there, but at the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, is my team getting better? Am I developing these kids? Are we making progress? That's what this is really about. Okay, but have fun with it. It is a big deal. It's a big responsibility. Learn as a coach. Learn as a parent. Learn learn football. Get better at it. You want to win, but you win by teaching these kids how to play the game the right way. Couple of quick things. Again, don't take your eye off the ball. Remember why we're all here and what the goal is. We will stress fundamentals. Fundamentals. You got to be consistent with this stuff. Have a plan. We got all kinds of tools for you online, and Luke's going to walk you through some stuff here in a little bit. Lean into it. Lean into each other. Lean into anybody on the board. We're here for you. We've all been in this chair that you're in, and if any of you that are new to this and wondering what the hell to do, we got it figured out, and we'll help you with those tools I just mentioned. Okay. It's really easy, guys, and at the end of the day, you have a plan and you take a consistent approach to this, you can have a lot of fun, and the kids are going to benefit from it tremendously. Coaches, remember how we do evals. So if you're a 6th grade coach, we're going to want you to 5th grade evals. So you're the ones running the drills, and the 5th grade coaches that night can just take their grades and work on their scores and get ready for how they want to select their team. Make sense?
Yeah, that's not optional, by the way. That's a mandate.
That's a mandate.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to walk you through this 2015 rules and regulations. Team parent, anybody on the field with the kids has got to have a background check. Should have a background check on file. Okay. So make sure that's done, and this is something that's normally good for, I think, 3 years. So once you get it, and most of you probably already have it for either coaching or school, just get that done. There's some other rules in there. You're responsible for your team at the end of the day. So, if you got parents hanging out on the 10 yards, on the 10-yard line, or standing in the back of the end zone yelling, the coach is responsible for that. Parents go in the stands, they're not be wandering wherever they want, for example. Read through this stuff and get familiar with it. Here's a couple of things I want to highlight. 6th grade, the running weight, you have to be 115 pounds or less. You have to weigh at least 60 pounds to play. If you're 170 pounds in the 6th grade, you're a double striper, which means you can only play offense, tackle to tackle. 5th grade, 105 is the running weight. 60 pounds is the minimum, 170 is the double striper. 4th grade, 95 pounds is the running weight. So if you're 95 pounds or less, you get to run the ball. 45 pounds is the minimum, 145 is the double striper for 4th grade. And then for 3rd grade, 85 pounds is the ball carrying weight. 45 is the minimum, 130 is the double striper. So if your son comes to get his equipment, right now he's underneath there, he's good. If he's 5 pounds over, he gets to come back on picture day and reweigh, okay? But that's the way the weights go. Injured players, if you have a player that's injured, you got to file a report with the league. We need to know what's going on. I can tell you, with all of this concussion awareness that's going on and all the training that's out there, and the boards had to take specific training, and be thankful because you guys, we saved you from having to take the super long class since the board took it. But it's coming, guys. So if somebody gets dinged, and especially their head, there's protocols you got to do and follow to keep us out of a pinch. Concussion awareness, but we often forget about hydration as well. So make sure you're hydrating these kids. You know, all the heat illness and stroke stuff, that's a big deal too, and they've really been emphasizing that again this year. Equipment, I've already hit on that. There's 3 more handouts. Make sure you're there. We did up the ante on the deposit this year, and that's so we get our stuff back. I had a guy the other day, his kid was checked out for 3 sets of equipment, and he wonders why I always cash his check. So, practice rules. Get familiar with that. You get 3 practices a week before the games start, and then after the games start, you get 2 practices a week. No exceptions. Read through that. 2-hour time limit. Okay. We had a guy that thought he could just do like 45 minutes 5 days a week, and you know, it all still fit under that. That's not how it works. Okay. You got coaches' practice plans. I saw somebody with it. Pat, did you have it? Make sure you get familiar with your practice plan. It's online. Luke's got a kind of a new presentation of that. But guys, there's been a lot of high school coaches help develop that. Been a lot of time and effort on that. The first hour of everybody's practice, frankly, should look exactly the same. And so if you think about, I think we practice 25 times, we play 8 games, so we're practicing 3 times more than we play. Again, going back to perspective and what we're here about, it's to create the fundamentals and teach the game the right way. Okay, so that first hour of practice, everybody should look about the same. And he's going to walk us through that here in a little bit. Contact league, okay, so just some quick rules. Games, 4 8-minute quarters. Linebackers and defensive backs may exceed the ball carrying weight, okay? However, if they pick up the ball, whistle's gonna blow if they're over that. If they got 1 stripe, right? If they got 2 stripes, they're not out there because they're only offensive tackles. All players and coaches not on the field must stay between the 30-yard lines. Keep in mind, if you're a 3rd or 4th grade coach, you can have 1 coach on the field. When the huddle's broken, be quiet. That is 90% of the yelling that goes on between all of us when we're coaching, because one of us is talking after the huddle broke, we think our kids lined up wrong, all that BS. Just keep your mouth shut. And if the kids lined up wrong, trust me, the other coaches told them 100 times to get in the right spot, okay? Just say something to the ref afterwards if you think it's necessary. 2 timeouts per half. Remember the point after touchdown options. You can go for 2 from the 5, you can go for 1 point from the 3, or you can go for 2 with a kick from the 3. Okay, come on, you guys. A rule change this year, 24-point rule. You guys probably remember the 18-point rule. That's when you get up, this year it's 24. Now, when you get up by 24 points, the other team gets the ball on the 50-yard line, okay? The reason we changed it was there was the 18-point rule getting a little, getting to the point to where when it did come into play, teams were kind of getting back, you know, a guy would pull his team off the field and then get back and he'd feel like he'd have to run them back in there. So 24 points would make that harder. Doesn't come into play that much, but if it does, know that that's changed. If you tie, you'll get, there's an overtime. It starts from the 10 going in. If you tie after that, you start from the 5 going in. If you tie after that, you kissed your sister. I'll come back to standard offense and defense here in a second. Playing time rule. This is a very important rule that I wanted to take a second or 2 here on. And over the winter, this rule came up in the board meeting a couple of times, and there was some passionate conversation around this subject. So if you keep in mind what the rule says is each kid basically starts on one side of the ball, okay? There's absolutely going to be kids that never come off of the field. You got 14 kids on most teams, okay? There are going to be kids that play both sides and play the whole game. There are going to be some kids, they're all different levels of talent and ability, that you're gonna struggle with, quite frankly. They're going to be a challenge. And again, keep in mind the perspective. Your job's to make them want to play football and be better at football, okay? But the reality is some of those kids aren't gonna go both ways the whole game. Your job, your obligation is to make sure they play one side of the ball. So if little Lukey, he's an offensive guard and he's not playing defense because he just doesn't want to, or the numbers aren't that way, then, or let's say he's a double striper, he's playing offense, and he has to be on offense for half the game, and the other little Joey has to be on defense the other game. And there might be a little Johnny that goes both ways, but at a minimum, the kids have to play one side of the ball. There's kickoff rules. 5th and 6th graders kick off from the 40. Onside kicks are allowed. 4th graders, you kick off from the 40, but it's a little different. The ball's got to travel 20 yards. If it hits somebody or stops before it gets to 20 yards, it's dead right there. 3rd graders, there's no kickoffs. You just start from the 40. Draft night. This is a fun night, guys. You're allowed in there with your designated coach, assistant coach. So it's you and your assistant. If you're the head coach and your assistant, get there an hour before. They'll give you the sheets with all the scores on it. You get your game plan together. Unless you're like Corey, you're already working on it. And then you can get in there at draft time and have at it. It's a snake. It's just like a fantasy football draft, and it's fun. All those scores, all that information stays in that room. So when you leave, all that stuff stays in your room. You don't need to go home and tell junior he was number 1 or number 4 or whatever. Just, again, back to perspective, guys. But have fun with it. Doesn't show up to mini camp, doesn't show up to evals, it goes into the blind draft. Okay? The way the blind draft works, or if a kid just shows up, his name all of a sudden shows up, you're going to sneak one in on somebody, right? He's into the blind draft. And then when you're in that draft room, technically the way the rule is they pull all those sheets out, turn them upside down on the table, and they start the draft order, and you just randomly pick. So if you're smart and you think this through, you like to know who you got, right? So you'll want that paper right side up. So coaches can vote before the draft, but it has to be unanimous that all the kids are put into the blind draft. So, I'll just say me, if I think something's up, I won't vote for it. So then we're all kind of opposed, right? But again, do what's right, keep perspective. That's how the blind draft works, and I don't think we've ever had a problem with it. Border Wars participants. This is 5th graders, some 4th graders it might apply to. I don't know, I haven't seen any of those around lately, but 5th and 6th graders must go to the Knights tryouts to be eligible for Border Wars. So if your 5th or 6th grader go and they don't make the Knights, they'll go right into the rec. But we want everybody there for the Knights tryouts, so we get the whole pool of kids to take a look at and consider for that. And so the way the rule's written is, if you don't go to that, you just fall in the rec, then you're not eligible for Border Wars at the end of the year. That's the all-star team that we put together for the rec team. So 5th and 6th graders go. They do need to go to evals, for example, those kids that don't make the Knights. So just read up on that, but we'll say something tonight just to make sure we're hitting them on Twitter, making that point on the Twitter and on the emails that people ask them. So if you and your assistants coaches or the kids are like a 1st round kid and a 5th round kid, well, guess who your 1st round and 5th round kids are, right? So that's how that works. Mini camps and draft night. For mini camp, it's the head coach and his designated assistant for that run like that, that group. If your guy's gone, then it's not like you have 3 or 4 coaches on your staff until you pick a team, right? So it's you and your assistant. You run camp. You and your assistant go to the draft. This guy diving at his knees, you're not allowed doing that. You're gonna get somebody hurt. Let us know if you got any questions on that. You're not allowed cut block, or no cut blocks are allowed on ends, linebackers, corners, or safeties. So what I almost drew up here, you're not allowed cut blocking that guy. Go blocking, man up. Play clock, another new rule this year. 40 seconds for play clock for weeks 1 and 2. Now we didn't go buy play clocks to hang up on the fields. We're going to have the referees try to police that better than they ever have. Keep in mind though, it's in the rules, so we can at least say it's in the rules. It's never been in there before. And then weeks 3 through the playoffs, it's 35 seconds. So this will keep all the smart guys that take 2 minutes in the huddle, it'll keep them from doing that. Yes, sir.
Can you go back to your cut block?
Yeah.
You said backers and safeties can't be?
You can't run, you cannot run out on ends. Like if you run power and block down and he comes here, he's not allowed to cut blocking him.
Right.
Or if you run sweep, he's not allowed to cut blocking him. He's not allowed to cut blocking him. Okay?
So,
Cut blocks can happen.
so you can't cut that. You can't cut block.
Cut blocks can happen right in there. Okay? Okay, here's something that's come up a couple of times. Let's see here. I'm already defense. Any questions on offense?
Hey Joe.
Yes,
what's
sir.
the dotted lines or the tackles?
That's that defines the backfield.
So if somebody's outside that, like that.
Yeah, so
that,
let me draw a new one up
that
here.
back outside, you can't carry the ball.
Well, there may not be enough guys in the backfield, right? So, again, it's just trying to eliminate trips and some of the BS that goes on. So if you have, say they come out in 2 tights and they think this is for some reason some great offensive alignment, they can't do that. The backs are outside of here, okay? Now, some guys do this, and I don't know, I think it's communist myself, but you know, they got the loophole in the rules, so they'll stick their guys right behind the tackle. It's you know, that's not football, but some guys do it because the rules say you can. The bottom line is, you're supposed to have 2 backs in between these tackles, and you know, I run a lot of I, and I'll do that a lot, okay? Some guys run power I. Just make sure what we're trying not to do is we're trying not to, do this kind of stuff. So you're just getting an automatic advantage.
You can run a jet sweep though. I mean, you can put your receiver in motion, and
Yeah.
so he can come from outside the tackle box.
Yeah. So let's say
he can still carry, but he just
do
can't.
something like this. He can run through. He's got to get the ball, obviously, and run his sweep. You know, and these guys can be leading. He's going to get the ball inside of that tackle box. He's not going to get it out here. Okay, nose guard's got to be head up. You can play a 5-2 or a 5-3. Tackle's got to be head up over the tackles. Ends have to be head up over the ends. Okay? Now, if this tight end slides out, the end can either stay right where he's at, or he can go half the distance. Make sense? So he can move to here and be, half the distance. Okay?
I thought if he's 2 yards off, he's got to be head up. Did you guys change that?
2 yards off.
He's got, if the ends.
Yeah, I said that, didn't I?
3 yards, right?
Or 3 yards.
Inside
3 yard split. Doesn't the defensive end have to be head up on him?
Yes.
He can't be in that hole, can he?
No. If it's within 3 yards. If he splits within 3 yards, he's got to be head up. If it's outside of 3.
Defensive ends must align head up on the tight end. If the ends are split more than 3 yards, the ends may play inside. Okay. Linebackers must be aligned over the guards, and they must be 3 yards off the line of scrimmage minimum. Okay? Now here's my favorite rule. Everybody listening? Corners can, or that's not yet. Sorry, Luke, I jumped the gun. Corners have to be 3 yards off the ball. Safeties have to be 6 yards off the ball, and they can line up anywhere you want. They can both stand over here if you're dumb enough to do that, as long as they're 6 yards off the ball. Got it? So 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, 6 and 6. Cool? Now, the only difference between this is a 5-2 and a 5-3. The way we do it in this league, backer, 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 You got, you got a safety, okay? Same thing, these guys have to be over the ends. He's over the nose guard. He's got to be at 6 yards. 3, 3, 3, 3, and 3, okay? Out here, so you can split the difference. And the backer is allowed to stay, how do we do this, Jeff? Backer can go over the end.
Backer can
The backer
stay.
can cover this guy, right? Yeah.
He can stay or go.
Yeah.
So can the
5-3
defensive end.
defense. Linebackers must line up with the middle linebacker directly over the nose and the 2 outside linebackers directly behind the defensive ends. All 3 should be 3 yards off the ball.
One thing that they said is that some people wake up, they don't know if they're making a difference in the world. And they say, Marines, they never wake up thinking that. They already know that they are. And I can say the same thing about football coaches. So what gives me the right to be up here is that I've coached a lot of football. I've coached or been a part of at least 38 teams, youth football teams. I've either head coached it, assistant coached it, or had a kid on it and I helped out. So wins and losses, losses really don't matter. I've won some that I shouldn't, championships, and I've lost some that I should have won. And so it doesn't matter. What does matter is when a kid comes up to you when he's graduating and has his graduation party and has invited you 3 times and had his parents invite you. Okay, that's what you're going for. You're going for that impact. And if you can go and have that priority, win, lose, or draw, like I said, 39 teams, 3 or 4 champions. I mean, it's just not going to happen every year. But what you can do is you can make a difference every day you go out there for practice. You can love the kids, and you can coach with passion, and you can connect with that kid. Your job, make sure he comes out next year. All right? That's it. Make that your goal, and that he has the greatest football experience ever. So I could come up here, I could preach a lot. I'm real passionate about this. I love it. I built this whole business idea around football and the experience that I had with Brian over there. And I can tell you, my best friends are youth football coaches from back when I coached. Guys like Eric Holt, Joe Ford, Tony Farrell. These guys would compete on the same grade, and we made it friendly. We'd have a party beforehand, get together called the Trash Talking Bash, and getting connected. But with respect and having fun and staying competitive, sneaking, scoping out practices, some crazy stuff, funny stories, I mean ridiculous stories. But make it fun. But man, coach every kid up. Don't leave no man left behind. So I've got a lot of material because I am an epistemologist, a lover of knowledge. And everybody that coaches football should be always trying to learn something new. And I can tell you the game has changed from when you played. There's some stuff that you used to do that just doesn't work anymore. It doesn't make any sense. That whole pursuit drill, where your coach used to say, all right, they throw the football all the way out to the edge and they'd send a dude down the line and everybody gets their pursuit angle and runs. Counterproductive. 90% of big plays are on a cutback, okay? That's a horrible drill, okay? You'll get scored on. So little things that you used to do. Hey, bite the ball. That's out, man. Bite the ball's out. All right? That is not what we teach anymore. You can't teach that really. It's not safe, and it just doesn't work, okay? You attack at the nearest number, okay? When you're coming in for an angle tackle, you'd be like, what? Yeah, because here's the thing. If you want to bite that ball, you're sticking your head right in that tackle, okay? So things have changed, and you got to change with them. You got to evolve, all right? You may think, well, that's stupid, man. It worked when I was a kid. Well, it just doesn't work anymore. The climate's different, all right? You got to be aware of that. It's not worth it, okay? So I've got all kinds of things. Coaching perspective, coaching objective, coaching philosophy. Great stuff I've picked up throughout the years. We're going to put this online. If you want, just email it. Email your name and your email address, and I'll send it to you, okay? Just put this on the board.
Is that sign-in sheet going around?
Yeah.
Right here. Sign that, guys. First list we'll look at when we pick the coaches.
All right? I've made horrible mistakes in coaching youth football. I've done some pretty awful things. I've almost gotten a fist fight at a flag game. I mean, with another coach. I've done some really horrific things, and I've done some great things too.
Perspective.
But man, perspective, okay? I've been there, all right? So anyway, I've got these, I'll send these to you. Coaching style, hit, high tempo, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. We're gonna go out there, I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about, all right? Instill habits, okay? Don't try to fix Johnny all at once, all right? You're going to have some fat kids out there that cannot get in a stance. You're also going to have some weak kids that can't get in a stance. They just can't do it, so you've got to start building them. First thing you do, make sure the feet are straight. Just focus on that on the first practice. And don't go away from it. Man, if you're going to see a train wreck stance, and you're going to go, oh my God, I can say 6 things wrong with this thing. Just take one. You got plenty of time. If you can get that kid in a stance by the end of the season, great. Because I can tell you this, if you coach Border Wars, you're going to get kids in there that are studs that can't get in a stance because they were never taught to get in a stance, and it wasn't ever emphasized, expected, or celebrated. So they come in there with their fingertips or their froggy stance, they're not helping. And they could if they had some good technique. That's your job. All right, approach. Firm, friendly, authoritative, and polite. Leave work at work, show up ready to go in that mindset. Okay? Flip a switch. Pick a telephone pole before you get to practice. Bloop, coach mode. All right? Leave it all. Leave the rest of it out. Do not take your bad day out on your team or your own son. Stay away from your boy. You want to screw up your son? Because guess what? He could be an All-American. Okay? He could be 6'3", 205 pounds. Finally get it and make his way. Start on the high school football team. All right? And be ready. And he's going to tell you, football's over. Thank God, I'm done. You're like, what? What do you mean you're done? Man, I'm done. That's a long haul. How can you be done? We went through all the camps. I spent all that time in the backyard drilling you. All right? I milked you through every team to make sure you got the right starting. How can you be done? Man, I'm burnt. I'm done. I didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming. I also spent $5,000 on a quarterback that turned into a middle linebacker. Okay? So look, perspective. All right? You got a little bit of time. They're going to watch Dad coach. Man, if you're going to see a train wreck stance, and you're going to go, oh my God, I can say 6 things wrong with this thing. Just take one. You got plenty of time. If you can get that kid in a stance by the end of the season, great. Because I can tell you this, if you coach Border Wars, you're going to get kids in there that are studs that can't get in a stance because they were never taught to get in a stance, and it wasn't ever emphasized, expected, or celebrated. So they come in there with their fingertips or their froggy stance, they're not helping. And they could if they had some good technique. That's your job. All right, approach. Firm, friendly, authoritative, and polite. Leave work at work, show up ready to go in that mindset. Okay? Flip a switch. Pick a telephone pole before you get to practice. Bloop, coach mode. All right? Leave it all. Leave the rest of it out. Do not take your bad day out on your team. All right? Line drill, offense, okay? On man. So we're on air. We're on air. We're on man with the line drill. Then we go to position breakdown. That's offensive line drill. Position breakdown. Working on fundamentals, okay? Blocking. Taking a handoff without looking for the ball. All these little fundamentals that make your team an efficient execution style offense. Then we go back to line drill. We're doing defense. We're working on that tackling on man. All right? The right way. Great technique. Emphasize, emphasize, emphasize. Expect, celebrate. All right? And then position breakdown on defense. Teach them how to move in space if they're a secondary player or if they're a linebacker. Okay? How to come forward, how to read on the move. Okay? All those things. We've got just basic drills. Don't get creative, man. We do the same drills every day. They're getting bored. No, they're not. They're getting comfortable and good and execute on all those drills. They like the comfort of it, okay? They like to know what's coming. They don't want creative, okay? They don't. All right? The same practice every single day on these fundamentals. They want that. You pregame with this stuff. They're ready to go. You program them to play good, solid football and know what to do. And if they're doing the same thing, then they can get better at it every practice versus getting creative. Fear not the man that can throw 1,000 kicks. Fear the man that throws the one kick 1,000 times. All right? Yeah, that just happened. That was awesome. All right? Line drill, offense, okay? On man. So we're on air. We're on air. We're on man with the line drill. Then we go to position breakdown. That's offensive line drill. Position breakdown. Working on fundamentals, okay? Blocking. Taking a handoff without looking for the ball. All these little fundamentals that make your team an efficient execution style offense. Then we go back to line drill. We're doing defense. We're working on that tackling on man. All right? The right way. Great technique. Emphasize, emphasize, emphasize. Expect, celebrate. All right? And then position breakdown on defense. Teach them how to move in space if they're a secondary player or if they're a linebacker. Okay? How to come forward, how to read on the move. Okay? All those things. We've got just basic drills. Don't get creative, man. We do the same drills every day. They're getting bored. No, they're not. They're getting comfortable and good and execute on all those drills. They like the comfort of it, okay? They like to know what's coming. They don't want creative, okay? They don't. All right? The same practice every single day on these fundamentals. They want that. You pregame with this stuff. They're ready to go. You program them to play good, solid football and know what to do. And if they're doing the same thing, then they can get better at it every practice versus getting creative. Fear not the man that can throw 1,000 kicks. Fear the man that throws the one kick 1,000 times. All right? Yeah, that just happened. That was awesome. Get them together and then bitch slap the whole lot of them as if they were all guilty, okay? All right? And I mean that because then you can do it and everybody knows it. And just say, if you think you want to know how serious I am about it, this is how serious I am. And then tell them. Just say, hey, get ready. The opportunity is going to come for you to lose perspective and do things you shouldn't. Now, it's all about the kids, right? Would you agree with that? Everybody? Yeah, it's not, okay? It is not, man. It's at least 50% about the coach, okay? No, it's about the coach, okay? It is about the coach, too. It's also about the parents. They have a vested interest, and so do you, and so do the kids. So look at it as a big team. Everybody's on the same team, all right? You get in the car, and your parents negative, the parents are negative, it's going to impact the player. He's going to have a negative attitude. You hurt the team, okay? So tell the parents, you're part of the team, okay? I want you to communicate with me. But sit on it 24 hours if you're upset, take the emotion out of it, and let's have a conversation. But be ready, I'm going to give you some honest feedback. Because I see everything, okay? I'm the coach. I'm involved in the drills. I'm there. You may not see what I see, but I'll be glad to communicate, okay? And I'll be honest with you. You may not like what I have to say, but we can have that conversation. But be respectful, all right? All right? Line drill, offense, okay? On man, so we're on air, we're on air, we're on man with the line drill. Then we go to position breakdown. That's offensive line drill, position breakdown. Working on fundamentals, okay? Blocking, taking a handoff without looking for the ball. All these little fundamentals that make your team an efficient execution style offense. Then we go back to line drill. We're doing defense. We're working on that tackling on man. All right, the right way, great technique, emphasize, 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 expect, celebrate. All right, and then position breakdown on defense. Teach them how to move in space if they're a secondary player or if they're a linebacker. Okay, how to come forward, how to read on the move. Okay, all those things. We've got just basic drills. Don't get creative, man. We do the same drills every day. They're getting bored. No, they're not. They're getting comfortable and good and execute on all those drills. They like the comfort of it. Okay, they like to know what's coming. They don't want creative, okay? They don't. All right? The same practice every single day on these fundamentals. They want that. You pregame with this stuff. They're ready to go. You program them to play good, solid football and know what to do. And if they're doing the same thing, then they can get better at it every practice versus getting creative. Fear not the man that can throw 1,000 kicks. Fear the man that throws the one kick 1,000 times. All right? Yeah, that just happened. That was awesome. You box them up, you put them all together, all of a sudden you're talking about footwork. Are you off sides, okay? You're in the middle, you're talking, you're creating pride of belonging, okay? I was given the first team I ever coached in tackle football was the Raiders, okay? I wanted the Colts, I didn't get the Colts. Then I wanted the Steelers, they didn't have the Steelers, so I got the Raiders, okay? So I built a whole culture around the Raiders, okay? R, respect. E, A, active, reject passivity. I, intensity, play with passion. D, dominate the line of scrimmage, both offense and defense. E, expect to win if you put the work in. R, relentless, no matter what the score is. You keep pounding, pounding, pounding. S, sacrifice, time, pleasure, circumference. Woo! All that. Hey, work with what you got, okay? Hopefully you don't get San Diego or someone like that, but anyway. All right? Whatever you do, build a culture, a pride of belonging. So once a Raider, always a Raider, man. Those kids will be friends for life. They'll remember this, and they'll remember you if you do it right, okay? I got some little sayings here. I'll get a copy of this stuff. It's non-negotiables, all this stuff. We're going to box up. I'm going to show you. We're trying to get some of this on film so that you can see it, but that'll give you an idea. Once you're in the box, now we're moving as a team in formation, all right? We've got cues, and we're moving like a military machine, okay? We fold this side of the line in, boom. We fold that side of the line in, boom. We bring this side up. Now you've got line 4 across, ready to roll into some drills, okay? Now we're checking. You got the guys in the middle calling the shots, and they're the center. You're saying, get your splits. Boom, checking them out. Everybody's communicating now. And you expect it, you emphasize it, and you celebrate it. Okay? They're getting down, then you go grass drills. So working on spatial awareness, and then anybody can plug into the line and go. All right? You're already teaching them how to break the huddle and how to move. High tempo, high tempo. That's grass drills, okay? Get them doing football movements, okay? Football movements, you're warming up. You can do side-to-side shuffles. Don't click your feet, don't cross your feet. Chin up, chest up, good position. The Johnnies, that they can't get in that position, they will by the end of the season if you keep doing it, okay? So you're working them out. You're also putting them through football movements with the back and forth, hit the deck, and then some other stuff with the line drills. All right? Offensive line drill. Now, you've got your group here. You shift them down, you shift them over. Boom, now we're on man on man. Working on blocking progression, okay? Working on blocking progression. You can see 4 cones you can teach. You can coach a football team. That's all you need, okay? So I've got focus points here. We've got blocking progression that we're going to teach. We've got a working on spatial awareness, and then anybody can plug into the line and go, all right? You're already teaching them how to break the huddle and how to move. High tempo, high tempo. That's grass drills, okay? Get them doing football movements, okay? Football movements, you're warming up. You can do side-to-side shuffles. Don't click your feet, don't cross your feet. Chin up, chest up, good position. The Johnnies, that they can't get in that position, they will by the end of the season if you keep doing it, okay? So you're working them out. You're also putting them through football movements with the back and forth, hit the deck, and then some other stuff with the line drills. All right? Offensive line drill. Now, you've got your group here. You shift them down, you shift them over. Boom, now we're on man on man. Working on blocking progression, okay? Working on blocking progression. You can see 4 cones you can teach. You can coach a football team. That's all you need, okay? So I've got focus points here. We've got blocking progression that we're going to teach. We've got a college football coach out here who's going to walk us through it, okay? It's the same progression we've used for the last 5 to 6 years, but they're going through basic movements. Then you go to the offensive breakdown. These are just easy drills. You've got drills for the line right here. On down below, you've got the back drill, okay? Second level blocking right there for the guards and the tackle going out to get a linebacker. All right, you got tunnel drill, ball security, handoff drill, ball security, and being able to exchange the football. Open field blocking, okay? Being able to block an open space, okay? For your wide receivers and your backs going swing lead blocking, okay? Boom, repetition, repetition, repetition. If you do one thing for more than 10 minutes, you're just not doing it right, okay? 10-minute segments, move on. Boom, high tempo. Kids standing around is a sin. Don't let kids stand around. Have them moving, shaking, moving, shaking. Always be in a hurry. All right, then you move to defensive line drill. That's where you go through the tackling progression. So you work it up on air. You work through all rhythmic clubs, back and forth. Every practice, before every game. And then you know what? We start our games like this. We start banging a little bit right before the game to get fired up. You go right from the line drill. You're already set up for the angle drill. See? So we'll walk through that. Okay, I've got some good admonitions right there that you can say one more step, you know, teaching them pad level, communicate, 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 okay? College football coach out here is going to walk us through it, okay? It's the same progression we've used for the last 5 to 6 years, but they're going through basic movements. Then you go to the offensive breakdown. These are just easy drills. You've got drills for the line right here. On down below, you've got the back drill, okay? Second level blocking right there for the guards and the tackle going out to get a linebacker. All right, you got tunnel drill, ball security, handoff drill, ball security, and being able to exchange the football. Open field blocking, okay? Being able to block an open space, okay? For your wide receivers and your backs going swing lead blocking, okay? Boom, repetition, repetition, repetition. If you do one thing for more than 10 minutes, you're just not doing it right, okay? 10-minute segments, move on. Boom, high tempo. Kids standing around is a sin. Don't let kids stand around. Have them moving, moving, shaking. Always be in a hurry. All right, then you move to defensive line drill. That's where you go through the tackling progression. So you work it up on air. You work through all rhythmic clubs, back and forth. Every practice, before every game. And then you know what? We start our games like this. We start banging a little bit right before the game to get fired up. You go right from the line drill. You're already set up for the angle drill. See? So we'll walk through that. Okay, I've got some good admonitions right there that you can say one more step, you know, teaching them pad level, Communicate, 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 okay? Make sure they understand too. Half the time we talk over their head. So, that's good. All right, defensive position breakdown, D-line drills, all right? A lot of competition. Kids get up for competition. So create some competitions. You know, King of the Hill, things like that. Get your linebackers reading, okay? They play in a triangle. They're the tip of the triangle. They've got A and B gap, okay? So they're moving forward. You know, you've got them reacting. Read and react drills. All right, come to balance drills, so they're not out of position when they tackle. Okay, back pedal drill. Okay, for defensive backs, moving back. You know, reading pass first and then punching up for the ball. Open field tackle. Play force. Okay. Teach, listen, it's easy. It just took a while to learn this stuff. Okay, force player on defense. Play team defense, corral. Okay, you're probably going to have 4 or 5 studs, probably 4. All right, make a shell. You can do it with your linebackers or your corners, okay? Make sure these guys are in position with their shoulders square. Make sure the safety's coming up. Make sure this other safety's coming around, okay? Where did they find the ball? Linebackers are rolling towards the ball. All right, corral. This kid won't hit, at least make sure he's in the right position to force the ball in. When he's in the ball comes inside on the cutback, bang, linebacker ear holds him. Corral defense, team defense. Trust the guy. Okay, if a linebacker's your stud and all of a sudden he shoots over here, bang, counter cutback, gone. Trust your teammates. Okay? Teaching that, very good. That'll help right there in these drills. All right, there are the 3 things for this formations, okay? The box drill, the grass drill, and the line drill. All right? And that is it. You will have access to that, okay? If you have questions, call me. All right, I'm here, I'm ready to go, I'm retired. I'd probably appreciate the phone call.
It's about the new tackling stuff.
All right.
Still got to get that out.
All right, listen, so tackling was one of those things that we, honestly, the game of football is under attack, okay? If you haven't figured that out yet, you haven't been watching. Concussion discussions everywhere, all right? I've had less than 5 concussions on all the teams that I've ever coached, and I've coached some high-level 5th and 6th grade football. I'm talking men out there playing, all right? 5 concussions. So I feel like we've done it right anyway, all right? I didn't need a wake-up call on safe tackling because I always took that serious. But what I did is I went out to the expert on tackling, and the guy's name's Bobby Hosea. He's out of LA, and he is the most passionate tackling guru ever. Played for UCLA, works with pros. They give him, got guys like Golson that need to learn how to tackle. They've been using their head, reprogrammed them, works with kids, has been doing it for like 15 years. All right? We have partnered with the league here at Sparta to get equipment to help teach it and force kids into the position to tackle. You have access to that equipment during the season for sure, okay? And you can come in here anytime and I'll show you how to work it, okay? And if you need to borrow it, take it, man. It's not ours to the degree that we bought it, okay? We're partnering with the league, all right? But we've got this tackling thing down, all right? It's safe, it's effective, and you can knock the snot out of kids, okay, if you teach them to do it right, because you're bringing the hips versus bringing speed and helmet, okay? So we're going to talk about that, but the real big difference is getting your head out of the tackle. If you do the tackle right, you can do that, all right? Hips, bang, we're going down, coming in, chest up, all right? And then when you rip the clubs from inside up, your head naturally comes up because your hips are coming through. When you become a waist bender, boom, versus a knee bender, you're putting your head into the tackle. This hawk tackling, horrible. Don't do it. Don't do it with youth kids. I don't think you should ever do it. I think it's a crock of crap. All right? The hawk tackle is the rugby tackle. All right? You're putting kids with weak cores and tight hamstrings, and you're putting their heads right into it. Okay? You're putting them at risk. You're putting the game at risk if you teach it. Just don't. Okay? If you do, you're going to be in trouble. All right? You're just going to be asked to leave. Okay? Because nobody wants you to coach the wrong way. It may not seem wrong to you, but guess what? It's a privilege to coach in this league. I want you to buzz and then stick right here. We're teaching buzz, stick, rip, okay? You know what you're doing? Don't screw it up because everybody's watching. All right? All right, here we go. Ready? First we say, ready ho? Ready ho! Hit! Buzz, stick, freeze. Silver Surfer. Ideally, his feet are going to be together a little bit more. Chest is going to be up. Like that. All right. No again. Buzz, go ahead. Buzz, stick. See this? We're working it. Hit. Buzz, stick. Down there. Down there. Here we go. Buzz. Stick. Buzz. Stick. Yeah, good. Okay. Now, that's the foot workout. Comes into a tackle. Come here, Ice. Stay with me. All right. He's going to come into the tackle. The tackle is going to stick. All right. And we're going to have him take an extra step to get into the tackle. Then his next step, he's going to be bringing the clubs, ripping, and grabbing a high claw. But teaching him to fire his hips. All right. So I want you to say stick. I'm going to say stick. Boom. When you go, I want you to grab your hands from behind. Okay. Grab them back there. You got it? All right. Here we go. Hit. Boom. That's perfect, man. Nice job. Do it again. Just teaching isolating hip movement, okay? Stick. Rip. Good. Nice. There you go. All right. You're sweating all over my dummy, but that's all right. That means you're working hard. Okay. Get back down. Now, rip the clubs. Okay? Now, he's going to finish with his elbows up above his eyes. I want him pulling up. I want him driving those hips forward. Here we go. Stick. Rip. Boom. That is perfect, man. Do it again. Stick. Rip. Shoom. Nice. That's very good. Now we can put like 4, 5, 6 kids on that mat right there. Okay, and work on all that drill. You want to bring your teams in here or come and get the equipment, take it out. Okay, work with your team. That's great. All right. And rip. Bang. Look at that. That is perfect, man. This kid knows what he's doing. He's got high claws back here. He's grabbing. Go ahead. Reset. Reload. Reload, man. All right. Stick. Boom. Head up. Chest up. Head back. Chest back. Rip. Boom. Up. Biceps in the armpits. Biceps in the armpits. Give me one more, Ice. You're doing a great job. Here we go. All right. Back up just a little bit. All right. Stick. Silver Surfer. Hands back. Here. Boom. Nice. Very good. Rip. Feet, 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 feet. All right. Go ahead. Drive your feet. Drive your feet on this one. Okay. Here we go. Stick. Stick, 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 rip! Feet, 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 feet. All right, very good. Now, 5 yards back. Now, what position did you play last year? Offensive tackle. What else? Defensive end. But guess what? When Ice hits puberty, starts to smell funny, gets a little hair under here and other places, he might be a linebacker. So we're going to teach him like a linebacker. All right, 5 yards. Ready, ho! Just come up and stick. Just come up and stick on it. Do not rip it. Hey! Up, 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 stick. That's coming to balance. Very good. What grade are you in, Ice? 4th grade. Ready, ho! Hey! See that? Lowers his level. Pad level down. Okay, one more time, and you just go ahead and just knock it. Go ahead. Knock the snot out of it. Ready, ho! Go get it, baby. Go get it. Hey! Up, 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 up. Boom! All right, what are you dancing with this thing? Waist, Silver Surfer back here, chest is big, and head's back. See my chin come back? Everybody take your 2 fingers and drive your chin back. What happened to your chest? Pops up, right? Football, always playing with your chest. All right, so I'm going to say stick, you're going to hinge, and I'm going to say rip. Just go ahead, grab your hands from behind, and then fall into that double. Launch into it. You're feeling pretty froggy? Push this thing out so you don't have to shoot it. It might be all there. Here we go. Stick. Rip. Good. So let's get our hands clapping. Hands clapping.
This is 6 inches. Not this, whatever. Okay? For our first step, everybody down to stand. Set. Hand down, hand down. Set. Hit. Bam. Hands back on my hips. Ready to draw my guns. Good. Reload it. Set.
Let's say buzz, stick, rip, speed your feet. Okay, so here we go. Let's go buzz and stick. Here we go. Ready, go. Ho. Buzz. Buzz, 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 buzz. Stick. Oh, good. Come forward, that's fine. Get right. Buzz, stick, rip, rip. Buzz. I'll try. My fault. Ready, ho. Ho. Buzz. Stick. Pop, pop, pop. Down. Silver Surfer. Chest up, and rip. Elbows in tight, elbows above your eyes. Split. Come on, man. Come on. Split. Look, come on. Right tempo, man. This guy's just, man, you better be ready. You know your next, right? All right, here we go. Ready? Yes, sir. Ready. Split, split, split. Ready? All right, snap down. Ready. All freak out. This is no reason, okay? Come on, stand back up. He said snap down. Snap down. Here we go. Do it again. Stay here all night, perhaps. Ready? Don't be the last guy. Set. Hit. All right, see, I'm just developing high expectations, high tempo.
I used to call it duck walk, but Coach mine always said it's not really mean and strong, not a duck. All right? So we're talking leverage walk. You're going to start out in that nice ready ho position. So it's time to go ready ho. Now, ready to go. And then I'm going to say set up. Okay, and it's just, I'm working 6-inch steps, just like my 2-step drill. So it's, wait, 6-inch set, and I'm working my hands, working my arms, okay? Concentrate and have them rotate at the shoulder. I'm not milking a cow, okay?
Hold on, let me just interrupt you. You can do this drill when we have the lines, what we just did.
Yes.
But then, so go ahead and explain that, because this is great. You can see you're repping through the when which partner, man on man, then that's what they're doing now. So,
gotcha.
But go ahead and tell them. You guys, you can put it together, guys.
Gotcha.
It's in the brochure.
All right, that's just my next step in the progression, all right? So, when we are here with your partner, turn, face your partner. Okay, guys with their back to me is on offense, guys facing me on defense. Defense, hands on your thigh boards, bend down, be a good partner, okay? First step, 3 commands. Fit, walk, freeze, okay? Fit, you're gonna fit up in a good fit position like you're blocking. Good bent knees, hands right about the chest plate, okay? Let's go ahead and do it. Fit it up, fit it up, fit it up. Good bent knees. There you go. Back to knees on O. You're on O right there, big man. Okay. Next command, walk. 6-inch step. Pound the feet, pound the feet, pound the feet, pound the feet. Now freeze. But take my right hand, take a swipe at the grass. It's a good way to tell, okay, am I tall enough or am I low enough? If I don't hit the grass, I'm not low enough, okay? This is something coaching-wise. If you see a kid have to go from here down here, it kind of defeats the purpose of the drill. If you got a kid here nice and low, swipes out and he's good, he's at a good height, okay? So coming back, here we go. 3 commands. Here we go. You can stay right down there. Other guys facing me are on O, backs to me is on D. Here we go. Fit. Walk. Freeze. Check this out.
Players. Try to develop great football players. Don't send the quarterback out. Every kid learn how to be a football player. Every kid take pride in the best blocking and tackling. Don't just prop the God-given talent. I hate that. Prop hard work, enthusiasm, execution. All right? Prop the things that you should. Those things, expect. Everybody remember what they are? What are they? Expect. No, emphasize. Expect. Celebrate. Yeah, and man, I'll tell you what, you should be wore out in practice.